Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, once again, breaking news made me delete the video I had planned for today. But I have to, I watch a law reviewer here in Canada, lives in Montreal, Viva Fariel, and he has a saying, and his saying is, politics ruins everything. And I'm wondering if today's story is going to help or hurt the cruise lines. So while it's day 4 of the CDC not responding to the CLIA, Carnival, Norwegian Cruise Lines, travel agency associations all asking for them to reconsider their framework for sailing, to consider vaccines and the new science, and to allow cruising to go despite their new framework. Today we have the governor in Florida just held a press conference saying that he has instructed his attorney general to sue the CDC and the federal government on their restrictions over the cruise line industry. And while I'm a huge cruise advocate and say, yeah, if anyone should be suing, it should be Florida, you'll notice a lot that wasn't at the press conference. And who was not at the press conference was the cruise lines. This time, unlike the one 2 weeks ago, this time there were no cruise lines there. Now, this is a smart move on the cruise lines industry, because if they're seen saying that, yes, we are going to sue the CDC, we're behind the governor and everything, then the CDC might just put their back up against the cruise lines and say, oh yeah, you want to do that? You're not sailing anymore at all. Oh, you want the third part? You want framework 2B? We'll get it to you when we're ready. See you next July. And not this July. So that's one thing I saw. But I was listening to the press conference, and I understand, wanting to sue. The governor's main focus was not really at the CDC. It was at the current government administration in the federal government. And almost every time he talked about reopening and restrictions, didn't necessarily mention the CDC, said the federal government. So again, politics. And I'm Canadian. I am out of politics in the United States. Both sides. I don't, I get them confused all the time. So I'm looking at this as an outsider's looking at it, that when one administration now challenges the other administration, is the other administration about to say, oh, you know what, you're right. Let's change our mind. Usually not. Name me one political party in the last 50 years that when the other party came out and said, you're doing it wrong, we're going to sue you, we're going to change your mind, ever change their mind. So I'm wondering, will this move by Governor DeSantis actually change anything or actually make it worse? Now, there was one huge thing that really did come out, and I don't know if a lot of people caught it. And that was that when Norwegian Cruise Line sent that letter to the CDC saying, we're going to have vaccinated-only cruises. Royal Caribbean, as you know, has vaccinated-only cruises in the Caribbean. We're doubling down on our protection by having our protection on the cruises with the mitigation of the air filtration systems and social distancing and masks and all that. And we're going to also require our crew and the passengers to be vaccinated. What could be safer? What industry could possibly be safer? Well, today, Governor DeSantis would ask, hey, are you going to allow the cruise lines to go vaccine-only passengers? And he said, no, we won't make an exception for the cruise line industry. Because if we make an exception for the cruise line industry to have vaccine-only cruises, we open that up to all the other industries in Florida, and we are totally against that. As you know, he's already come out and said he's against the vaccine passport. He said he's already come out saying he's making it illegal for any business that in Florida to require a vaccine passport of any kind. But that might just be the nail in the coffin. That might just be the nail in the coffin for the cruise line industries, because they were kind of making the whole argument saying we will have our people vaccinated. So now, if the CDC comes out, let me play this scenario for you. The CDC comes out and says, you know what, we've reconsidered it, we've relooked at the science, and if you do offer vaccine-only cruises, we will allow you to start sailing. Now we have the governor saying that we can't cruise out of Florida, as opposed to the federal and the CDC saying we can't cruise out of Florida. But you know what? And you know what? Probably Texas as well, because they've said the exact same legislation there. So now you might get the point of the CDC allowing cruises and separate states now saying, no, you can't cruise if you require them to be vaccinated. And then we see New York open up. We see California open up. You see where this goes now. Politics ruins everything. And that is, without a doubt, the way of the world for the last 10, 15 years. Every time politicians get involved, it really doesn't help the situation. It can often make things worse. So I'm very afraid that today's announcement is, first of all, going to do nothing. We'll see what the courts say. If the courts come out and win, and they say, yes, the CDC cannot keep a cruise industry on hold for over a year while at the same time allowing international travel, and they just say, you can cruise, well, then the cruise lines don't worry about the vaccines. They don't have to worry about the other stuff. They can just cruise. But what if the CDC in the meantime comes out and says, you can cruise if you have vaccines? I don't know. What if the court says, because of the history with what happened in March, we feel that the guidelines now should require a vaccine? Well, you see, it's just, there's more questions now than answers. And it's looking worse and worse and worse for the cruise line industries as other people are weighing in now. And so I have a bad feeling about this. As much as I would love this to work, and that the court would just say, open up cruise lines. But I honestly, this will eventually, if it starts going through, would eventually end up at the Supreme Court. And who knows how long that would take. But I really, I mean, is the federal government worried about a state suing them? Probably not, especially over health reasons. It's a really hard case to make. But that big thing where Governor DeSantis says he will not make an exception for the cruise lines to start sailing with vaccinated only passengers, that could become a real boondoggle in the future. Do you like that word? Boondoggle? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I am worried about this. I like pressure being put. I don't like the threats. Other than, you know what? We're going to leave. We're going to head to other ports and you guys can do without business. And trust me, this is reflected in Florida business. 200,000 jobs are waiting for the CDC's approval in Florida alone. And I don't think the message today is really going to help in any way, sadly. Well, again, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I really hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.